Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of He Say.
She say,
I'm your man, Mark,
hello, I'm Tiana. Hello, everybody. Hope all is well.
and we got a very special guest in the house. Those of you from the Facebook group TGD know him as John John, but tonight he's here on some different ish. So, John, we're going to start the show after you introduce yourself. Tell us why you're here, please.
I'm here to promote a homeless event that I will be conducting this Saturday at 3 p.m.
Franklin Park, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what do people need to do if they want to contribute or if they want to take part in this homeless event?
They can inbox me through Facebook, and I'll get in contact, respond to them, and let them know what's needed. We have a lot of contributors already, so we have a lot of stuff that we're already bringing. So all is welcome. Nothing is turned away, and everything will be distributed that day somehow or another.
Okay. So now that we have you on the show and you're here right now, tell us what you need. Like, is there anything last minute that you need or
I'm
the
telling
area that you
anybody
like?
to bring anything, whatever you bring: food, clothing, care packages, water. I mean, water mainly because it's supposed to be pretty hot
Yes, it
Saturday.
is.
97 degrees.
So we're gonna
that day.
need plenty of water, plenty
Right.
of water.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So, John, would you consider this your third annual homeless event?
Actually, this is my fourth.
Fourth annual
My
homeless
fourth,
event.
my
So,
fourth.
you've been doing these for 4 years consistently.
Yes.
Okay. And it's always in the same place, Franklin Park?
Yes, yes, it is actually. I'm trying to venture out, but I don't know where I can gather that many unfortunate people at that quick moment, real quick, and get everything handed out. Franklin Park seems to be a gathering place where they congregate at, so that's been a good location so far.
What kind of feedback do you get each year as you do this?
I really don't pay attention to the feedback.
Because
I just look at the people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
from
The
them, I
people,
would
the
think
people
they'd
that
be
I help, it's just good to see the smile in their face and their appreciation for what we're doing, and everybody just taking time out their day to come out there and help them out. The last one we did, I actually kind of got a little touched because I saw a little kid. He was like, he had to be no more than about 5 years
Yeah.
old out there with his parents, and
Oh,
they're just so respectable and they're still human.
right.
They're just in an unfortunate situation. So
I'm glad you brought that up because this will be my third time participating in the event with John. And I will say the last event, we were all a little shocked to see children because we had not seen children out there before. So, as a reminder for those who will participate, if you haven't already purchased anything, even for myself, I'll try to remember and to bring something for kids just in case they're there. Juice boxes, snack candies, or just something for them because we really didn't have. We were giving out care packages, but they were only for grown women and men. So,
Right.
that's. I'm glad you brought that up.
Definitely don't want to forget the kids. So, prior to us going live, we were sitting here talking, and John wanted to. We touched upon the community engagement and ways that can be helpful, and then the subject of Chicago came up. Now, Chicago, I think, recently reached 500 murders for the year,
Yes.
and we're only at September.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly what's going on in Chicago. It's gotten to be such an epidemic.
I think it's 500 for the summertime. It's over 1,200 for the year.
Really?
Oh wow.
Really?
It's 500 for the summer.
That's a straight war zone.
I mean, it's lawless. You probably got police that are scared to even go in the
I mean,
community.
they have to be. I mean, they're human.
Like why would you go to work every day to go in there with the potentially of not coming home that night? And it's a high percentage.
Right.
Like they have no regard for nobody life out there.
So the people that live there are
They just
hostages.
taking it day by day, man.
I mean, if that. I mean, there's so many issues within the black community that I would like to speak on eventually on this show. I don't know how deep we can get into them because I don't pretend to be an expert in any area of those issues, but I am interested in social issues. But I think stuff like Chicago doesn't get enough attention. But really, I don't even know what attention can do because it has to start from within. because you can't come from outside and separate the good from the bad. That'd be pretty much impossible. So whatever's going on in those communities, that I shouldn't say whatever. I think we have an idea what's going on. We don't know the dynamic of the inner workings of Chicago exactly, but
I mean, it's the same thing that's going on in every other hood across America. Education, jobs. I mean, the potential to get out is very low. You
but
know,
I
but
think
there
it's a
seems
little
to be
deeper than that.
there seems to
That's
be
the
some
surface, though.
extra extenuating circumstances there, because I've heard and read accounts of boxes of guns being left on corners.
I believe that. I mean,
in
the guns
Chicago.
they don't get there by themselves.
So
I
whether or
would-
not that's true, I will never not believe something I hear like that. You know, I'm cynical like that. So if
Some of these guns that I've seen these kids have were like guns that you see on like Grand Theft Auto and like,
right,
you know, those army games. Like, where did y'all get that from? Drums with 9mm and stuff. Like, yeah, I get that kind of stuff from, man.
On my way home, I was listening to WHUR and Millette Green. I like listening to her. She was saying that she feels like people have become numb.
oh, they have for sure.
You know what I mean? She was like, there's no protesting. There's no
Where?
call to action
In Chicago? Oh, okay.
You know, there's no protesting. There's no call to action. It's almost like people are literally just getting used to getting gunned down.
What would they protest? Who were they protesting?
That's true.
To who?
That's true.
Like who are they? Like that's a community problem right there. Like even if the cop kills one, they're not protesting the system here. Well, it's systemic that caused it, but like they probably, once the apathy sets in, it's really dangerous because they feel somewhat helpless. And those people are who are pushed in those communities don't have resources to move out of those communities.
Right.
Most of them don't.
Right.
And a lot of people in those communities don't have family members in other states to even move and uproot themselves. So I mean, they're stuck in a war zone. There's not a lot of solutions.
I feel like it's hard to believe that we don't or they don't know where the guns are coming from, because I think I just heard that they've confiscated over 6,000 guns. And I'm like, how does one city have that many guns? And that's just what they got. That's not they're not counting the ones that's already still on the street.
Well, if you don't ever want to hear my thoughts on guns, because you know it's a lot of people that disagree with me on the whole gun issue, but in this country, I think the NRA has entirely too much power, and a gun should not be that easy to get. And a gun load and an empty stomach doesn't make a good combination.
But do you think it has a lot to do with the NRA? Could it be getting past the NRA?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Absolutely.
I'm sure those guns are illegal, but but majority of them are legal. But the fact that guns are such a part of the fabric of this country is a problem. That allows it to get to this level, because we in this country, we're the most violent country on the planet.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, by far. As far as
Mhm.
murder goes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And we don't have any wars or quote unquote wars being fought on our soil. So the amount of killing that goes on is ridiculous.
Right.
Like when you think places like the UK, the officers don't even carry guns. Most of them. The ones that carry guns
Right.
are special officers.
Right.
And they still have bad people over there. They still have crime, but they don't have the mass killings and shootings. So if it wants to be done, it can be done, because that's another first world country. Australia as well.
Sweden.
It can be done. They just don't want to do it.
Right.
And by them not wanting to do it and them hiding behind the Constitution, that shows how much they don't care. Because it's not affecting their neighborhoods. They want to have the guns to protect themselves of a threat that's never coming for them in their gated communities, more than likely. You know, they want them for hunting. You know, they want them for hobby stuff. You know, they're hobbyists. It doesn't.
So, do you think that if more people outside of the black race was getting killed in Chicago, then
What
it would
did you
be
did you just ask that question?
more-
We're about to move on.
No,
What did you ask me?
Is that it?
You asking answers now?
I'm asking. I'm
You-
asking answers.
Yeah, you know the answer. Why you asking me?
Yeah, so that's sad.
Yeah, do I think?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually said today on a post that I honestly think that they're actually sitting back watching
They are.
us exterminate each other.
Yes.
You know, just it's a quicker way to rid the city
Yes.
and
And once we keep
gentrification and
once they
all of
do
that
that,
good
pretty soon
stuff.
it'll be nice to live in
Nice
about
and
25
white.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it to ourselves. They do it to us. I
Yeah.
mean, it's don't you admire our skin? Because I'm still here.
I know.
Anyway, we started off kind of heavy, and that wasn't the goal. We're gonna do something interesting. I don't know if it'll be fun, but it can be fun. Tonight we're gonna talk about interracial dating. And I think we're gonna attack this from many different areas because a lot of people still view this as taboo. Now, the reason why I want to tackle this topic is because in 2016, not saying the calendar means that much, but I want to get a pulse for what people feel on this because I know in my time on this earth, my feelings have changed a few times toward this topic. So I don't feel that I am special in that way. I feel I'm special in other ways, but I don't feel I'm special in that way. So tonight, please call in as we get deeper and deeper into this topic. Let us know how you feel. But I want to start off with the panel here. We got John. John and I share a couple of similarities. We both grew up in our schooling, elementary school, middle school, high school,
middle school, high school, yeah.
Middle school, high school in Montgomery County, which is an incredibly diverse county. So I want to ask John and also Tiana, what are your feelings on the topic of interracial dating?
Let the lady lead off.
Really gonna let
Tiana,
me lead
it's your show.
Call me rude.
Yeah.
Well, first let me say I have never ever dated outside my race.
You had to start with that.
I
Yeah.
have to.
That's the way to start. All right.
There.
Okay.
It's not that I'm opposed to it. I don't think there's anything wrong with dating outside your race. It's just that I have never done it. I've never been put in a position to even be attracted to someone outside of the black race. Like I've seen all kinds of races, but
I like to pay attention to people's words.
Yeah.
And you said you've never been put in a position to be attracted to people from
like
outside
I work
your race.
with, of course, and in your everyday work life, you're around men of different complexions, but I've never seen one attractive enough that I was actually willing to date them. To me, it's about physical attraction.
Okay.
But that's no different than an Asian man. That's no different than an Indian man. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just limited to just a white man. It's just that, unfortunately, and I'm going to say unfortunately, I think right now I'm only physically attracted to men of deeper skin tones.
Deeper like what? Blue, black?
No, just brown, black.
Darker than you?
African, Black American.
Do they have to be? Do they have to be darker than you? You said deeper complexion.
There was a point in my time in my younger years that I was more attracted to men that were darker than me. But that's
a weird thing. Okay.
Yeah. Why?
No, I didn't know you.
I mean, it's just more of a physical. Yeah, I used to have a type, but not so much anymore. The older you get, your
your egg's about to get rotten too.
Right.
So pretty soon.
Your types and standards and shit, they kind of open up. We got a call.
We got a caller. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Who is this?
Hey, you know who this is, man.
Oh, okay. What's up, Mac?
This December 23rd.
Okay,
you know who this is.
Yeah. Mac, what's going on?
Man, I hear y'all talking about this interracial stuff. Are you trying to tell me I'm supposed to ignore like a whole other people just because of the color they are?
No, we haven't gotten to the point where you should have to ignore them.
Yeah, we're not saying
that. We're trying to understand. Well, right now we're trying to understand what people's feelings on the topic. So, what are your feelings?
Hey, if you can find the right person for you, go ahead and do it.
And that's the point where I'm at in my life as far as that goes. I feel like if that person can penetrate, because I think we all have our walls. If someone can penetrate that initial force field and get in there, which I'm sure will be harder coming from another place, I say go for it.
But why should it be hard though? Relationship should be easy.
I mean, let's take Tiana.
For me, I think it has a lot to do with having something in common. I can't say that I would honestly believe that I would have something in common with someone outside of my circle.
That's a beautiful. I'm glad you made that point. That's a beautiful point.
But something in common like what? Because if both of y'all are looking for good people, then the extra stuff you can kind of throw that out the window.
Not necessarily. Like for me, I can take it a step further. There are actually I've never even really seen any serious interracial dating in my family. Period. You know what I mean? There's no everybody is basically black or African American.
But I'm slightly disappointed in you, Tiana, because I always thought of you as a trailblazer. So I thought you'd be the first in your family to go that route.
My male cousins.
What?
I have male cousins that it's funny because I remember when my male cousin, a couple of my cousins had brought home white women, and we didn't say anything. No one said anything. It was just that silence that we got quiet. It's like, how do we act? You know what I mean? Because we're open to anybody coming to dinner. You know, because we're a big family. We love gathering together. But yeah, every once in a while they brought a white woman home. It's like, oh, okay, hi. She spoke, and you can tell that to me they were a little uncomfortable because we weren't as engaging as she probably would have liked us to be.
Yeah, weren't as engaging. I would have loved to.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that?
It's been spurts. It's been here and there ever since I can remember as a child. It's been happening here and there. So.
But there were different rules back then also. We progressed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Some of us have progressed, not everybody.
Well, most people have progressed. You should give it a try. It might surprise you.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Just like I said, I haven't found anybody.
But it sounds like you're opposed to it, though. To be honest with you, it sounds like you're opposed to it. Like your body language and everything says that you're opposed to it.
I'm not attracted to men outside of the black race.
It's like black men got a magnet. I know we dark as a magnet. I didn't think we had. Is that what it?
So it doesn't. So it doesn't matter if he's a good dude or not. It's more about what he looks like.
Pretty much.
Oh, thank you for calling. Hey, Mac, thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in back. We got to the heart of the matter, and it's 8:18. So here we go. Now, I'm glad you said the in common part because this is where I'm going to lean on John. Okay, so having gone to school, I don't know if I can't speak for him, so I'm going to speak at him. Having gone to school in Montgomery County, you have these friends and you get used to certain things, right? Because these are your formative years. And as you get older and you date and you deal with people from different backgrounds, you might come across someone of a different race, different ethnicity, and you find you have more in common as far as beliefs, what you're used to, even socioeconomic backgrounds, than someone of your own skin color. I mean, it's possible. If we're talking about likeness, things and having in common, it's possible that you can have a lot in common with someone from another race. Tiana, I'm looking at your face. I was looking at John because I want to get his thoughts on that, but your face keeps curling and twisting. Your lips going from the right to the left side. You don't have to do that. Go ahead, John. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't know because as I got older, I actually was in Montgomery County less and less. So the older I got, the more I was in PG area and the DC area, which is the majority black. When I was coming up, it was nothing to see a white and a black guy. I mean, white guy and a black girl dating. So I never saw it as funny. Like you said, Montgomery County is very diverse.
Have you ever dated outside your race?
No.
You put my man on the stand just like that.
I mean, y'all asked me.
I don't think we asked you.
Yes, your caller did. What's his name?
Okay, Mac. He asked you. Okay, because I was like, I'm not gonna pry. We do that every week here in the Charlie Griffin Show. I'm not gonna ask you that. But you. Matter of fact, no.
I volunteered.
You volunteered. That was the very first thing you said. I put out
that disclaimer.
Disclaimer, like as if it's the worst thing you could have done. But I mean, I'm interested in people's feelings on it because I used to feel very strongly one way, and I became more and more open to the idea, especially when it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right.
If it's not my situation, I've never understood this, so I would like some black women to call in if they can.
So it's good for them, but it's not good for you.
It's not my life. So if I see a black woman with a white man, I'm not getting into.
Oh, me either.
But I know a
agree.
lot of black
I
women
agree.
get mad. It's a visceral feeling that they get, and I kind of understand.
Well,
And
they have so many other dynamics that they looking at for losing that black man. You got jail, you got murder, you got
yeah. So they feel like it's a shortage,
you know.
even
I
though
don't look at it all
even
day,
though I
dude.
don't.
But
believe,
but some of them do use
not
all
you.
those
I
stats.
can understand that part of it, but
Right.
ultimately, it makes no sense to be upset when you weren't an option.
That's
It'd
right.
be the only way I could understand that is if you were in the picture, and he came and chose the white girl over you. You know, you're human. You're gonna feel something. But I mean, if he chooses to date this person,
So you
you know, why do you care? Focus on your own life.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with me. So, of course, I would like all these things for black people and all this stuff, but that's a lot for everyone to take on.
Mhm.
Like, look, I want my kids to be this and this and this. Yes, that's what you want.
I mean, for me, I think I've always had like I envision my children to look just like me.
That I wouldn't wish that on them.
Yeah, whatever.
I would not wish that on them.
My babies would be beautiful, but no, seriously, I envision my children to look like me, and I think that if
I promise you, they'll have half your DNA pool.
If you date outside your race, then I've always thought of who does the child look like, and I mean, it probably should not be important, but it's definitely one of those things that's crossed my mind.
But you haven't thought about the good hair aspect though.
No, it's not about hair for me. Like it's not. I have good hair, so I'm good. My hair is okay, but no, it's sad though. There's a lot of women that actually think about that stuff.
I know a few.
Oh wow,
I know someone who did it.
I don't know. I don't know.
And that was the first thing they said when they were pregnant.
That they got pregnant by non.
And they said the baby's gonna have good hair.
And that was important.
She was in high school at the time, but yeah, it was very important to her. She said she was gonna make pretty babies, and she did. It's the accomplishment of her life. That's probably one of the few compliments she made. Yeah, but yeah, that's
sad.
Those things happen. So, okay, next question I want to move on to regarding this interracial dating thing. Do you think it's still a curiosity for many?
It's a curiosity for me. Don't get me wrong.
So you're curious?
Yeah, it definitely has crossed my mind on occasion.
So what's gonna happen is the older you get, that curiosity is gonna kill you.
Maybe.
I think so. So that's a curiosity for you.
No
curiosity.
No, black wife.
Happy life.
Yes. I'm all for you.
Just straight to the chase, black wife.
I wish everybody gets what they want to get as far as that goes. You know, I curiosity. I still feel like for many people there's a curious thing. A lot of guys. I'm often shocked. Back in the day, I used to have friends that live in Southeast and Southwest. I used to go down there a lot, and they used to beg me to come to Montgomery County. Yeah. I'm like, when you gonna bring us on Montgomery County? When you gonna let us get at the,
It's a different element for them.
It's a different element, and I'm talking about it's like Christmas when they come out there.
Yeah,
they mob up. They cars full.
But it was like that when we used to come to DC and
and I used to be coming to I used to come to DC, and they used to tell me, they used to tell me the difference is they tell me, don't come around here when I'm not here. Right? These dudes are cool with you because I'm here. But don't come when they come to Montgomery County. After they come out there once, they coming. If they got a car, they coming, and they get the little girls and they turn them out, and the girls driving down that junk, and after a while that shit end up. But I mean, they was I was always shocked at how they wanted one. They were so curious about that, and I'm glad to see that Tiana is halfway human because she admitted to being curious about something.
I've thought about it. Of course, the jokes. And then the other little silly things that come along with dating.
What jokes?
Outside. I'm not going to get into the jokes. We all know what the jokes are.
No, I don't. What jokes?
I mean, no, I'm not going to say.
Why?
Because I don't want to. We had the sex talk last week.
It's always okay. Okay, those are. You mean like myths and stereotypes?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because earlier you were talking about Asian men. Right? I mean, you talked about all of them, but you brought up Asian was one of them. And there was a time, and I noticed in the last 20 years, there's been a change amongst the younger ones. There was a time where they were thought of as purely effeminate.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were the least likely group to marry outside of their race or to date outside of their race, which was posing a problem because currently Asian women are the most likely group to date outside their race, next to black males. And
I've read that.
the reason being is because, first of all, everyone seems to have a thing for Asian women, but they're supposed to be really effeminate and considered to be docile. So, what man doesn't want that? And black men outwardly are viewed as hyper masculine. So that gives them a more of a plethora of options when it comes to women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may not want to take you out to eat, but behind closed doors, I'm not gonna say that though. I'm not even gonna go where I was about to go, but yeah.
I don't know if I don't. That's fun. I actually just imagine me bringing home a different race of a man. I don't know how my family would react because I am probably the most vocal grandchild in my family. They probably wouldn't even think anything of it.
Because you're the most vocal. They wouldn't think of it?
I think I'm probably out of all my cousins, I'm probably the wild child. So and
what does that say about your family?
And my family's very reserved. And
I
very
see.
conservative.
If you're the wild child, yeah.
Exactly. So they're very reserved and very conservative country.
See,
people,
I think the reason why I wanted to touch on this topic because I think mindset is very important, and that's why I wanted to ask this because the fact that you envision something doesn't mean that that's how life is going to be.
I agree.
So you feel like that you envisioning this man and how you want him to look or how you might be getting in your way of a lot of things. You don't think so?
I think it's just a preference.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I think
you got a preference,
people
but
just know what they like and what they want.
We got a call.
Phone or ring. Good evening.
Hello. I'm calling because Michael is bothering me to give my opinion on interracial dating.
And who is this?
Takesha,
please speak up. You have something to say? Say
it. I don't really have anything necessarily to say. I am for interracial dating. I think my only issue is that sometimes people don't realize that they're operating under their own biases of self-hatred. And so sometimes they're running after people because they don't like themselves.
Yeah, but that's okay. So you're right about that. But that would be so deep and interwoven that they wouldn't know, though. Don't you think?
I agree that they don't know that they're doing it. But I think naturally you are attracted to people who look like you or people who have had similar experiences than you. And so for someone to say, like, I don't date people within my race or let's say, for example, we'll use Kanye West and his whole, like, I date mutts or I date mixed chicks.
And he said that?
Inherently in that,
okay.
Yeah, he did years ago.
Okay.
But inherently in that, you can see that there's a level of self-hatred that you're carrying. And so you're right. It's really deep-seated and you don't know that you're actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, for me, that's my problem. Is the fact that people are often aspiring to things that they are not.
But that's human nature to an extent, though, right?
I don't think that that's human nature.
Not to hate yourself. I'm talking about to aspire to things that you're not.
I don't think that that's human nature.
Okay. Well,
I think that you can try to better yourself, but I don't think that it's necessarily aspiring to things that you're not, especially when those things are not who you are or who you can actually be. Because I think that instead that's just a reflection of, especially when we talk about dating, that's really a reflection of supremacy, white supremacy, and how it's affected our ideals. so that we're looking to people who do not reflect who we are. So we're trying to create something else based on somebody else's opinion of beauty.
And you're speaking of those people who say that they only exclusively date a particular type of race.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't like to get into that because you don't know the reason why they're doing that always, you know? It's not always a self-hatred thing though. It could like a lot of stuff happens in our formative years and they just stick with it. Like the example I always use, which is a horrible one, but it's applicable, is Dennis Rodman. Like obviously Dennis Rodman was beat with the ugly stick. So girls didn't like him. He grew up in Oklahoma, right? Poor. His mom didn't like him. His mom used to beat the hell out of him, right? He was a janitor or whatever. And then, he got a growth spurt. He went to some JUCO and ended up going to the NBA. Well, the only girls that would date him when he was ugly and nobody were white girls. So when he made it, he stuck with the white girls. And his mom was a formative person in his life, and she used to abuse him. So, I mean, we don't always know where that comes from. You know what I'm saying?
But can you argue that really does not still have a level of self-hatred in there? So, meaning that his value system still got skewed.
Oh, yeah.
In between. So I don't think that that's really necessarily saying that it's not.
And
I don't know that.
He viewed black women.
I don't know that he hated himself. I think he hated black women after dealing with his mother and them. And I mean, No, go ahead.
But self-hatred doesn't necessarily come out meaning that you hate yourself only, but you can hate some of your experiences in your life. So that I think that his relationship or his tension with his mother is still reflected in those decisions.
Yeah. They are. And I think he made his decision early on. He decided to ride with it. But I mean, those things happen. So for example, this is the reason why I had to evolve my my thinking on this. If you are a black person and you grew up in a suburb and you went to an all-white school, and I see this a lot. Not a lot. I've seen it a few times. And I might meet a black female, and I don't like to say this, she speaks like she's white. She hangs out around white people. She's the one black girl in the white group, and she dates white guys. Those are the people. I mean, you're only going to date people that within your proximity,
within your
right?
Circle, exactly.
Right. And so her experiences, she grew up along them. The funny part is they probably don't really view her as black, even though she's clearly brown, but I mean, they don't view her the same way. And that's who she dates. So who am I to judge her and say, sister, you need to get up out that and come on home? You know what I'm saying? That's her relationship. That's what she's comfortable with. It's hard for me to tell someone where to be comfortable and where to find comfort. You know what I mean?
So that's not what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying that a person cannot. I'm just saying that oftentimes people don't realize that they're operating from a self-hatred place. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, they don't.
I'm not saying that we don't date according to our proximity, but a lot of times if we talk to those same people, there can be some values in there that can show that they have been
brainwash.
That
whitewash.
I don't want to whitewash is what I was thinking,
okay.
But I mean, it's just sometimes when we are exclusively in another place, that becomes our value system. So that becomes the place in which we look from. And so even people who are not even in those environments where they're predominantly around white people, they can still have those same views that are skewed based on, because our socialization process is set up to value white beauty, white standards. We're living in a society where I was like, hegemony is really prevalent. So sometimes our brains can be turned to it and we don't realize it. But I have a cousin. She grew up in England. In England, interracial dating is like the norm. The idea of finding a couple that is dating black people that are dating other black people is relatively unknown. Do I think that my cousin doesn't like herself? No. I think that that's the standard of dating that she's witnessed because of where she grew up, because of her wealth. Those are the people that she's going to date and the people that she's going to come in contact with. So I don't think that it is a blanketed statement that everybody who exclusively dates another race is doing it because of self-hatred. I just think that there are people who are, and like you said, it's not necessarily easy for them to be able to recognize that that's the space that they're coming from.
Okay. Well, I thank you for calling, Takesha.
Thank you. Yes,
And
yes,
it's
very
nice to have an
insightful.
intelligent caller to come to and enlighten us on stuff like this. However, I don't hate myself.
Thank
It's
you.
like,
All right.
all right.
Bye.
That is an interesting thing. It is an interesting thing that's happened now when she's talking about the images of the self-hatred.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And it is
I think
deep.
some people don't care. I think some
That's
people
what I was
recognize
about
it.
to get to that point and say
Yeah.
they don't care because TV has made it to another caller.
Oh, wow.
How do you
Big
answer
ring
this?
button.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Hello.
Who is this?
Hi, guys. This is your weekly
Yes,
call.
yes,
Hey,
Jocelyn. You know what? I didn't even look at the phone number. I would have known if I looked at the number. Hey,
Isn't that
Jocelyn.
nice? What's up?
Since you're calling in, you like my T-shirt?
I want my shirt. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
can I put my 2 cents in?
I mean, that's what you
Absolutely.
called to do, right?
Yes. This is not really as to why, but it is kind of more or less why it's more acceptable for guys and for women as far as interracial dating, or why you see it more with men. I think I had this conversation with Mark before about how basically there's nothing sexier than a black man as far as men are concerned. Black men are pretty much the end-all, be-all when it comes to swagger, sexiness, and all that. White men can't emulate that without looking like B-Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted. You know, they look corny when they try to do it. They look cheesy and they look corny. White women can often emulate and imitate black women with ease, and it comes off as sexy. You know, they wear their cornrows and it's sexy. They get their butts and they're shaped like us and it's sexy. And it's easier for them to copy what we had. White men can't do that. So it's harder for a black woman to be like, dang, he's sexy as a white guy. Because we find that black men so sexy and so attractive and so strong. And I don't think it's really hard for white men to epitomize strength like black men.
All they gotta do is sit on their pocket, on their wallet.
Right, pretty much sit on that wallet and lean on that Aston Martin and we're good.
That Joe to do it. That's easy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but outside of the financial, that's what you hear with a lot of black women. As soon as you hear that they're with a white guy, girl, he must get good credit.
I
or
mean,
something like that.
not in all, and I don't want to diminish them to that.
No,
for that
not at
reason,
all.
but
No,
yeah.
no, I'm not. But I mean, that's generally when you talk, when black women talk amongst other black women, and they hear that a black woman is dating a white guy, it's usually about finances.
Well, I will say this: money changes a person. So
Very much so.
a lot of black guys got swagger and they ain't got none, no money.
True.
But a white
True.
guy, when he got money, he gonna have swagger. So the swagger,
But
his swagger, it'll be equal or more because he got it. But it's hard to have it when you don't
let's say
got
we're talking all middle income people. You're
Uh-huh.
not going to find that many black women dating middle income white guys or lower income white guys because they just don't have that swag. They don't have that black guy Whereas a white woman, she
You
just
say
gets some
black
hits
guy
and some color. Yeah,
So if we say black guy for, we just talking about swag now or something else?
you know what?
No, I think it has a lot to do with the demographics too. I think it has a lot to do where you are.
I think
what part of the
I
country you're
think
living in
I think it has almost everything to do with that.
with demographics where you are.
And that's why I've had to evolve my thinking on it because the more you rub shoulders with people, you realize you don't
Exposed to it.
that much not in common. Like for me, the food would be a big deal, but
Yeah,
and some other
definitely.
things would be a big deal. But then there'll be also culture sharing, so you can learn things
Right.
from them, and you can teach them things, and they can learn things from you. You don't want to teach them everything though. That's so there has to be some common stuff because everything ain't gonna be a quiz. And every moment I'm not teaching you, but so there got to be some shared experiences that bring you together.
I think it's easier for black women to date other races outside of white guys. We often just think black and white when we think interracial. But like it's easier for a black woman to date a Latin guy or possibly an Indian guy. Well, I don't know if they really are into black women like that, but most cultures are into black women, I will say. But I think when it comes to
cultures are or in are
they are. I think they are. They find black women beautiful. They find us gorgeous.
I believe that. I don't
they
know
do.
If I believe
they
that.
do.
Really? They really do. They are like, oh my gosh, your skin, your hair. They love black women. They're just culturally not raised to it, or they're culturally it's not accepted. But black women are more likely to date someone other than white, where black men will not run to, but it's easier for them to go to a white woman because other cultures have their women on lockdown. Let's be clear about that too.
Okay,
You're not going to find too many Indian women who are allowed to date black men.
Oh, but they'll do it though. But okay, so
yeah, of course they will. Behind closed doors.
Interestingly enough, what you said about that. Okay, so males in all cultures should be the standard bearers, right?
Right.
So in other cultures, they do love black women. At least, especially physically, like they admire them.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But their job is to carry the standard. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to marry them? No. Women don't really hold tight to standards like that.
Right.
You could, if a girl fall in love, if you can actually sweep a woman off her feet, she gonna go in any culture. So the guy, he might want to do it, and he might pay some money to do one in the back alley. But as far as marry her, nah.
Right.
Nah,
we've always been that dirty little secret per se. I don't know how to say it any other way, but that's pretty much what we were. Like just even going way back. But like I said, I think it's easier for black women to date if we're talking interracial. It's not going to be black and white. It's going to be more like a black woman and a Latin guy or an Indian guy, and then the white guys will date a white woman because she looks like a black woman with hips now and butt. Like, stop.
And they get extensions just as much or more than y'all.
They sure do.
And yeah, pretty much. They get the clip-ins and the fusions and everything. And it's not a black woman attitude. They don't use the whole black woman have too much attitude because that's why I date white women. No, you want a white woman just to say you got a white woman.
Hey, listen.
No.
Don't diminish the attitude. Do not diminish that, Jay.
That's not why. You don't go because you don't. No, it's not. That's not why. You go find you a nice black woman. Then go find you a black woman with an attitude. Why do you have to run to a white woman?
As soon as they create them, they'll date them. Let me ask you a question.
I know a lot of white women who would not know of a lot of women.
Have you dated
who have bad attitudes, and black men will still run to them. I don't think it has anything to do with
Listen, okay.
You do know the most nagging woman on earth is a Jewish woman, right?
You daggone right.
And you want to hear something real funny? The most nagging woman on earth is supposedly a Jewish woman. And Jewish mothers nag so much that they say Jewish men and black women are compatible for that reason. Because if you notice, a lot of Jewish men have married black women because ain't nobody gonna top their mother. So compared to them, you're not going to be, you're not the worst.
I asked a friend a couple years ago, his one and only experience dating a white woman, and he said that he would never do it again because he didn't. The response that he got from the public when he went out with her in a restaurant, he felt insecure because people were watching him.
Oh, John and I talked about that before the show.
Yeah,
I was like, I never felt that I would ever be seen in public with a white female. I just felt like they would be. I'm scared. I'm scared of and respect black women enough that I don't want them peering at me like that. No, and honestly, that was that was the insecurity of mine, and it makes me sound weak, and I feel weak for admitting it. But yeah,
but that's a common. It's a common thing.
But
that's what
you can sneak me into slave quarters at night. I don't have to be out with you.
I'm sure down in Carolina, that's all I see in Charlotte now are these mixed families. Oh my gosh. You see the little, what do they call Mardi Gras puppet hair babies?
Yeah, the confused hair.
That's
the nice curly.
See are these white women, fat white women, and black guys, skinny black guys. But hey, love who you love people. I mean, hey,
I
do what
agree
you
with
do.
that.
It's none of my business. I'm not in your bed, so don't get in mine. You know what I mean? So
That's how you
that's
want to end
my.
the call. Yeah, no, not in your
It
bed
is.
now. Get in mine. Okay. Well, thank you for
Hey,
calling,
I'll talk
Jocelyn.
to
Thank
you
you for
next week.
All right.
calling. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I do have to say this because there is something I felt in preparing for this show. Me being foreign born, right? So culturally, there's certain things that growing up we did differently in my house than I did with a lot of my American friends. And as I got older, I spoke earlier how Montgomery County is very diverse. I have Asian, Indian, African,
Spanish.
Hispanic, all the Latin American and Central American countries represented, with in the communities we live in. And I began to find there was more similarities with those people I had than some of my close friends. And as soon as they found out where I was from, just things were different. So there's certain cultural things that are unspoken. There's an exchange there, and then they'll put you on to certain dishes. We might use the same spices, use them different way. We might eat the same fruit, call it a different thing. And that's how you come together with women from a different race. And I always would ask any woman that dealt with me from a different race what their family feel about that. If they knew, because I'm sure I'm the dirty little secret, right? And they would candidly share. Some cultures don't care, some do. But it's interesting to see that those differences as you get older aren't as great as you think they are. They aren't. I mean, it's still a human being. And I will say this as a guy dealing with women from different races, at the end of the day, she is still a woman. You are going to have the same good time with her because she has the woman parts and you have the male parts. And you're going to have the same bad times with her because she has that main woman part, that brain. And when she gets crazy and starts nagging, it's really no different. When she gets in her feelings and ruins your mood just for no reason, because she's feeling a certain way that day that you didn't call or whatever or text or you never take me nowhere or something.
So what happens in the event? Let's say you like I've always imagined like as far as being able to relate to someone outside of your race when you're dating. Like let's say as a black man you just went through the most racist experience at work and you're married to any type of woman outside of the black woman and you want to come home and you want to talk to her. I don't know if she can really relate to you, if she can understand you, or if she can really console you in the way that you need to be consoled like a black woman would be able to.
That's interesting that you say that. Okay, so you're right.
Like she can't she wouldn't be able to understand.
She can't understand, but you can have empathy.
Yeah, I think all she can do is just
she can have
listen at
empathy.
that point.
And then also, I've had experiences where black women have competed with me as to who had it worse in those same instances. They didn't have as much empathy as I thought they would have. They'd be like, well, try being a black woman. Like when I'm coming at them with whatever happened to me. So, it can go either way.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like we assume that the black woman would be super nurturing and lick your wounds under them, but we can't make any blanket statements here on anything.
That's true.
So I think there's a lot of barriers in place that doesn't allow our minds to get free. I told you mine. Like I wasn't gonna have no black women looking at me when it comes to no white women. I just wasn't gonna. I didn't dislike them. Dating, no, we weren't gonna date. But you invite me over for tea, I'll come. But me being in public, nah, sweetheart, And I consider myself a card-carrying member of the United Nations. I don't discriminate. I just got to see the differences. It was my life has been a case study. So I can't talk about things unless I do them. So I have to do the things. See what I'm saying?
For you.
You can live in the world and not do nothing.
There's some. I don't think.
You admitted you were curious.
I mean, curious enough, but I don't know if I'm so curious that I'll actually try it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, just because you can do it, that don't mean it's to be done. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree with that.
So,
But
it
you
may
haven't been a
look-
man either, though.
Hmm.
You haven't spent any time as a man either, though.
What does that have anything to do with it?
Well, I mean, I just said it. It has a little bit to do with it. There's more than a little bit to do with it. Okay, so have we moved to a place where it's more socially acceptable in 2016? I say yes.
I think
Yes.
so, absolutely.
Because
Very much so.
I
Absolutely.
never thought.
I mean, shit, people were. It was against the law.
Well, more
You know
than
what I
that.
mean?
More than that. I think the most important vehicle is television. And now
Reality
we're actually
shows.
seeing interracial commercials, which I never thought you'd see. That's like the new thing.
yes.
And I never like that's within the last few years that's happened. I
Mhm.
never thought we'd get to that point because that's
Mhm.
basically saying it's okay. You're giving your standpoint.
Mhm.
Well, and I guess that's like the new American family.
But even the majority of the public still wasn't ready for that though, because I think it was Cheerios that came out with the very first commercial where
Yeah.
they showed the interracial
Well,
couple.
We're
And
not
there
ready
was
for
a
that
serious backlash
because
behind that.
even though we know these things go on, the power of television is once you put it on that screen, you're pretty
Mhm.
much saying it's okay
Mhm.
because there's a lot of stuff they don't put on the screen.
Right.
So once it becomes prevalent on the TV screen, you're telling a whole generation of people that is not so taboo anymore.
Mhm.
So imagine what the bloodlines or the racial makeups or the relationship makeups are going to be in 25 years from now, the next generation. It's going to be incredibly diverse because we're moving into a society with very little lines on anything. You know, we got gay and lesbian rights.
Mhm.
We got black and white,
Mhm.
Hispanic, Asian. They're all here in America, and everybody has rights, and everybody's doing whatever.
Mhm.
And there's nothing keeping people from getting together unless you're in certain segregated corners of the country. So, one of the things that I wanted to touch on, we touched upon it earlier, and now I think is the time in the show where I'm going to allow Tiana to do it. What are some of the myths of other races that made this thought
There you go.
so unappealing to you? Because we've all heard them, right?
Mhm.
And before we get into them, because let me make this a disclaimer for Tiana. These are just what we've heard, you know. No, we don't mean to disparage, but you know we've all heard them. So go ahead.
I wanted to start by saying one of the one of the biggest myths is probably the male anatomy. Let's just go ahead and start there.
Okay, and what's the
The
biggest
male
myth?
anatomy, that other races of men are not as well endowed as the black man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's been the ongoing joke. Every comedian has talked about it. That's just, we've been hearing that for 1,000 years.
Right.
1,000
years, right?
1,000 years. But I don't
Has that
necessarily
affected
think
you?
that.
Has that affected you?
No, I mean, because I've come across.
But you said that you're not attracted to it.
I mean, those, you just asked me one of the myths.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that's.
But
just
as
one
I
of the
said it, what are
myths.
some of the myths of other races that make the thought unappealing to you?
Unappealing to me, probably the food. Like you said, the cooking.
Hey, honestly, that's a big
the
one.
food.
For me.
The cooking.
Like,
you know
I
what I
have
mean?
to eat good at night.
I'm a country
you know?
girl, so.
So I could get through the whole day, but at night I should have something hot and good to eat.
Right. That's, I think,
If you
the
can't
food.
cook, I can't deal with you.
Yeah.
And I need some spice too. Salt and pepper is not enough. You know, you got to do something. you know.
Right. How you bond as a family, like during holidays. You know what I mean? I know we don't all socialize the same way. You know, my family may be a little loud during the holidays, and you know, we're partying as opposed to another culture or race of people. They may be a little bit more different or quiet on how they socialize.
I don't know that your family would be that loud.
We're loud in country.
I don't think so because you said you're the wild child.
No, we're definitely loud in country,
You
but
mean
there's
together?
not a whole lot of cursing and drinking and all that type of
y'all
stuff.
don't drink?
Yeah, we got a few of us in the family that drink for the most part now.
I think that was the biggest eye opener for me dealing with other cultures is to know that a lot of cultures congregate and party and socialize the way similar to the way in which I was used to growing up. And the hospitality thing, you know, because there's different types of hospitality, and I would a lot of cultures share about almost the same values on that, and that's key to me because that's where, you know, the connection comes from. So I believe it's not that many differences. I'm gonna give you one of the myths that I heard growing up, and
About what race?
Asian.
Asian.
Now this is a stupid, you know what's a myth, but I've been told on more than one occasion by a few people that Asian girls' vaginas are crooked. That was a myth that needed to be disproved.
That the vagina is tilted.
Yes, crooked, not tilted.
How so? I'm confused.
I was confused too. I never heard that. I heard
you
the
have
joke.
me going home googling that because I've
You've
never
heard that?
No.
D, you ever heard that?
But what's a crooked vagina?
Well, I'm not here to talk on that. John, you ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
not.
right?
I have not.
I've
never heard that? Please tell me I'm not running in the circles they make up bullshit like that. I'm telling you, I know it's not.
That, Marcus. I've never heard that before. That's funny.
And you know, they say,
because I need to know what a crooked vagina is. Backwards?
Listen, I heard crooked. Right? What does crooked mean to you?
That's what I'm asking, because there are such things as a tilted vagina. Women have tilted vaginas, okay?
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
The vagina is shaped like a triangle. You can actually be tilted. Oh. You can have a tilted vagina.
Oh.
But a crooked vagina, I have no idea what a crooked vagina is.
Listen, all right, it's a myth. Okay, so you exchange one, I exchange one. Anything else?
Right, that's fine.
No, you don't have any other one? Okay,
John,
because,
can you think of any stereotypes of myths that you've heard over any race?
Because it's amazing how they happen. So everyone will tell you that white girls are promiscuous and loose, right?
Oh, I know one.
What?
Jamaican women and African women will not necessarily voodoo, but they'll put stuff in your food and make you stay with them for life. And I've even heard period blood inside the food. They'll never leave you. Now, that's a crazy ass myth. I know you didn't heard that one.
I've heard something like that.
Okay.
Well, I've heard that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's a myth I've heard.
But I mean, it hasn't happened yet. I'm not gonna put. I don't know what somebody's doing to your food. I don't eat everything that come out of somebody's pot. If the best thing I can do is, the best compliment I can give you is if I eat your food. Mm-hmm. So I have to feel some way toward you to eat your food. So, you know, I touched on the white women supposedly being loose and promiscuous, and Hispanic women. You know, they got all these things. Now, I wanted to touch on this, and we're running out of time. I don't think we'll be able to do it. But this new term, exotic, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, and I'm not gonna say it's brand new. It's been around for a long time.
Overused,
recently, huh?
Overused.
Yeah, it's overused, and I think that backtracks us to guys not caring about self-hatred or whatever. Because all a girl got to do is make her hair wet and curl it up.
But I think men are the reason why that term is being used so much.
We are because we're taking responsibility for that.
You want what you believe to be exotic, and what exactly is exotic?
Hey, I always ask my man that. It turns out
almost,
my man say that about every girl that's not 100% black.
But see, people think that I'm not 100% black, but I am. Yeah. So you don't know.
I don't think that.
You don't.
I don't think so neither.
I don't think so.
Whatever.
I know where you from.
Yeah.
Where am I from, John?
You from Ethiopia.
I'm from Ethiopia.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's the thing about so like Ethiopian women, right? That's a hard woman to get because they stay in their circle. They don't really go out, so it's hard to pull an Ethiopian woman. I mean, you can get one or two.
I know a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's the new. Nowadays.
They've been like that for years.
You gotta understand, America is the great equalizer. Yeah, women get free over here. They will throw away all their cultural things but they come back and they dye their hair burgundy. So
oh my God.
To end the show, we want to give you guys a reminder. This Saturday, 3:00, Franklin Park.
3:00, Franklin Park, Saturday. Bring anything you can. Everything will be used. Everything will be handed out that day. Promise.
And that's gonna do it for this week's edition of He Say,
She Say.
And on this show, it's mostly hearsay. So these were just opinions. Okay, so please don't shoot the messenger, which is Tiana.
Whatever.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.